Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. It's me here from my channel where we learn how to become superhuman. And today I'm going to be talking about why reading books is a superpower in 2025. Now, this might sound like a strange topic for a channel like mine, because if you're not familiar with my work, I usually talk about productivity, motivation, and self-improvement. But there's one thing that's been missing from my life, and your life, and everyone else's life in 2024 that will change in 2025, and that is going to be reading. So today, I want to explain to you why reading is a superpower in 2025 and how you can use it to level up in every aspect of your life. The reason I think reading is going to be such an important skill in 2025 is because of what happened in 2024. Because in 2024, people became more reliant on AI than ever before. People started leaning on AI to write their essays and do their homework. They started using AI to write scripts for their videos and even came up with prompts to get AI to create custom thumbnail images. And sure, some of this stuff is useful, but overall, AI has caused us to become lazy and our mental capacity has atrophied. Basically, if you didn't train your mind in 2024, it got smaller. And I know that sounds dramatic, but think about how many people just scroll on TikTok all day and they don't even really enjoy it. They're just kind of scrolling. They're not creating. They're not thinking. They're not being productive. They're basically letting AI take over their lives and their minds. So now we find ourselves in this weird situation where AI has made things easier for us than ever before, which means we have less of a need to challenge ourselves mentally. That is until now, because in 2025, the world is going to start ramping up again. Things are going to get difficult and you're going to need a big brain to tackle all of these challenges. So the question is, how do you grow your brain in 2025? How do you make sure that you're not left behind by all the other people who just sat around and did nothing? Well, the answer is simple. You're going to read. Now you may be thinking, Matt, I hate reading. I'm not good at reading. I've never been good at reading. And that doesn't matter, because the fact of the matter is, anyone can read. You don't need to be smart to read. You don't need to be good at reading to get better at reading. All you have to do is start reading and you will get better. Think about when you were a child and you started learning how to read. You probably weren't very good at first, but after reading lots of books, you got better. Your brain simply adapted to the activity of reading, and it's the exact same thing as an adult. The only difference is you probably haven't trained your brain in a while, so you're going to have to ease into it. But don't worry, because I'm going to help you out. I'm going to tell you exactly what you should read in 2025 to help you level up in every aspect of your life. The first category of books you should read in 2025 is going to be self-help. These are books about improving yourself, becoming a better version of you. Now, I know you've probably heard this advice before. You've probably heard people say, "Oh, you should read more self-help books." But there's a problem with the way people normally suggest this idea. Most people suggest that you should read self-help books instead of something else. Like, if you read self-help books, then you're not reading fiction. If you read self-help books, then you're not leveling up as a human being. And that's just not true. The fact of the matter is, you can read self-help and fiction and non-fiction and anything else you want to read. There's no rule saying you can only read one type of book. You can read whatever you want. But if you're trying to improve yourself, if you're trying to level up, then you should definitely consider picking up some self-help books. Some examples of great self-help books to read in 2025 include The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, Mindset by Carol Duquette, Atomic Habits by James Clear. But remember, just because I recommend these books doesn't mean that's all you should read. You should also read fiction. You should read non-fiction. You should read whatever you want to read. The second category of books you should read in 2025 is going to be philosophy. Now, philosophy can be a difficult subject for some people. In fact, most people hate philosophy. But philosophy is simply about asking questions and seeking wisdom. It's about wanting to understand the world and your place in it. And if you're interested in those topics, then you should read some philosophy. Now, I'm not suggesting that you go out and try to read Plato or Aristotle. If you've never read philosophy before, you should start with modern philosophers. Some great starting points for getting into philosophy would be books like Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday, or even Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. The third category of books you should read in 2025 is going to be nonfiction. This can be any type of nonfiction book, anything that teaches you something new. For example, if you want to get into cryptocurrency or the stock market, then you should pick up a couple nonfiction books about those subjects. Now, I'm not a financial advisor and I don't know anything about cryptocurrency or stocks, so I can't really help you out there. But if you want to learn about, I don't know, physics or space or history, then I can definitely give you some recommendations. Some examples of great nonfiction books that I've read would include A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking, Cosmos by Carl Sagan, and Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. The fourth category of books you should read in 2025 is going to be fiction. Now, I know I've only talked about non-fiction books so far, but the truth is, if you're trying to improve yourself, then you should read both fiction and non-fiction. There's no rule saying you can only read one type of book. In fact, I would argue that you should read all types of books. And fiction is important because it helps us develop our empathy. It helps us understand other people and different perspectives. If you want to be successful in business, if you want to be successful in life, then you need to be able to understand other people. And fiction can help you do that. Some great examples of fiction books to read would include To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, 1984 by George Orwell, and 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Now remember, just because I gave you these examples doesn't mean that these are the only books you should read. These are just suggestions. You can read whatever you want. But hopefully this video has convinced you to start reading again. Hopefully it's inspired you to pick up a book and start reading in 2025. Because remember, reading is a superpower. It's something that can help you level up in every aspect of your life. And in 2025, we're going to need all the help we can get. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like. If you didn't, that's okay. You can leave a dislike too. But either way, I would appreciate your feedback. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.